Hey folks, for the last few months I've been thinking about hosting my own video series. Well, there you go. Here's my first bit. Tomorrow, the city of Kyle is proposing a rule change for new businesses who wish to locate on I-35. All motor vehicle and trailer sales, rentals, and leasing are prohibited from operating outdoors in the I-35 overlay district. This includes, but is not limited to, the sale, rental, and leasing of cars, trucks, vans, motorcycles, watercraft, recreational vehicles, all-terrain vehicles, off-highway vehicles, buses, trailers, farm and lawn equipment, construction equipment, demolition equipment, commercial vehicles, limousines, and all other similar vehicles not listed. To summarize, if you want to establish a business on I-35 that sells motor vehicles, you must keep all of your product indoors at all times. If passed, new motor vehicle businesses cannot locate here unless they somehow manage to cram all of their inventory inside a building. It seems we want Kyle to become a Carvana. Now, you might be thinking, what's wrong with that? That's amazing. Well, for starters, the ordinance does not mean Carvana is coming to Kyle. It might be this.
Alan Boyd and Charlie with Crossroads Ford. We're at our gigantic indoor showroom in Cary with over 300 vehicles. They're all on sale. This one, that one, those ones, they're all on sale.
The city is making this proposal on the basis of the following arguments. 1. Automobile sales do not generate local sales tax for the city, though they do generate property tax, which goes to the city, and gobs of vehicle tax, which goes to the state. Not to mention the fact that several categories listed do in fact generate sales tax exclusively from all products sold, including services and accessories, and all the personal property in the building, which is taxed like real property and generates income for the city. But I digress. 2. Automobile dealerships are not typically high-volume employers. Again, the argument is against auto dealerships, but the regulation is against motor vehicle dealerships. We're not just talking about Chevy and Ford. This regulation will ban dealerships like Caterpillar and Kubota and Peterbilt and Big Tex Trailers and Harley Davidson and E-Z-GO and on and on. Now, there's probably some truth that some kinds of auto dealerships don't create many jobs. I doubt CarMax is highest on the list of job creators per square foot of real estate along I-35. But what about Cowboy Harley Davidson, who employs over 40 people? A dealership like Cowboy Harley would never locate in Kyle if this proposal passes because, while they store their motorcycles indoors at night, they proudly display their products outside to gain attention from thousands of motorists traveling along the interstate every day, which is kind of what makes the interstate a prime location after all. And 3, motor vehicle dealers most often situate themselves in clusters, and those lots consume large tracts of land area for outdoor displays of their merchandise. Motor vehicle dealers, in too great of numbers, provide no appreciable benefit to Kyle's emerging I-35 corridor. Okay, that's a fair point. We don't want to have a motor mile in Kyle, but to my eyes, no such cluster exists or is burgeoning in Kyle. The only area in the interstate custom tailored for a new motor mile is in North San Marcos next to Chuck Nash. The city's arguments conclude with the following. I-35 should be reserved for those uses that provide for the needs of the motoring public, and for those uses that are less desirable as locations in toward our neighborhoods. Did you catch that? The motoring public has needs and motor vehicle dealers don't meet them. Better for those dealers to cluster up near our neighborhoods instead of along the primary commercial vein of our city. Obviously, I don't like this change. I think the proposal is heavy-handed, unsubstantiated, and focuses on eliminating auto dealerships without realizing that several of the categories on the list don't even sell autos and are solid generators of jobs, sales tax, vehicle tax, property tax, inventory tax, and more. The city gets its cut. My point is, even if you would like to regulate against a motor mile in Kyle, and I can sympathize with that, it's inappropriate to paint with so broad of a regulatory brush. There's a better way to do it. All right, full disclosure. For those of you who don't know, while I am a voting member of the City Council who will hear this proposal Tuesday, I'm by no means able to weigh in on this from the dais. or with the city staff directly because I have a pretty glaring conflict of interest. I own a motor vehicle dealership on the interstate in Kyle, which proudly displays its inventory outdoors. If passed, this rule change would cause my business and the businesses like it to become non-conforming and therefore subject to a particular set of rules in order to continue operating. As long as we meet those rules, we cannot be shut down by the city or have our operation interfered with, and would therefore, in a way, gain a competitive advantage against any of the future businesses who would not be feasibly allowed to locate on the interstate regardless of demand, because they would have to keep all of their products indoors at all times or locate their stores somewhere off the interstate. But to be clear, even though my business would likely benefit from the passage of this ordinance, I truly think we can do better as a city and create rules that are more carefully thought out and surgically applied. And as such, I am flatly against this proposal. Oh, and as an aside, for those who wish to complain about me speaking on the issue because of my conflict, I did seek a written opinion from our city attorney who reminded me that even though I won't be able to vote, I still have a voice as a citizen and can communicate my thoughts so long as it is published for the entire community. And so I figure what better way to start this show than to bring forward an issue that is important to me personally, but also very relevant to our city. I mean, look, I get it. Car lots are not the most ideal business. I, like you, want tech jobs and mini malls around green spaces and multi-use entertainment districts and high-wage employment centers. That's what gets my blood pumping and is absolutely the vision I have for Kyle. But I simply think we have to be careful with how strongly and how broadly we regulate. All right, now to my closing thoughts. What really matters here in this video is not what I think. That's not what this series is about. The point is to educate you on what's going on in our corner of the world, give you my perspective, and invite your feedback so we can learn from each other. The more people who genuinely care and offer their thoughts, the better the outcome. I truly believe that. So, what do you think? Do you think the city should regulate against motor vehicle dealerships on the interstate? Is this the way we should do it? Are you convinced of my arguments? What are yours? Feel free to write a comment below or share the post and start a discussion on your own page. And remember, this is episode 1. My initial plan is to post a video on a weekly basis. I'll be coming up with my own content along the way, but I'd love to hear from you as to what you would like for me to cover. It can be related to Kyle or not, politics or not. Just send me a message. Better yet, send me a video with your thoughts or questions. I'd be happy to respond if the situation calls for it. All right, that's all for me in this first episode of The Travis Mitchell Show. As you might have guessed, I'm Travis Mitchell. God bless.